What's going on, you guys? Okay, we just had a really good war against the clan Twitch TV. I'm not sure if any of you watch them on Twitch, but they stream, I don't know, I know they stream their wars at least. I did check in with one of their players just to see what they were streaming during the war, and they were just streaming their attacks, and they were doing some betting on it or something. Anyway, the point of this video is I want to do a little piece on Logowiwi, and I'm also going to show you how to use it to 3-star the base Giza by Beaker's Lab. So thank you Beaker for making this base and giving me the option to 3-star it in this particular war. As you guys can see, we did have a draw. This was a really good war, a lot of 3 stars. So what I'm going to do here is, I need to get my pen going here. All right, so this base, as I said, this is Giza by Beaker's Lab. I don't know if this is 2.0 or whatever version. Not sure. Anyhow, so on this base, it's kind of designed as anti-hog, right? So in this area here and this area here, you've got your giant bombs, and then let me change this pen a little bit. All right, and then your Teslas, they are in this area, or at least that's how the base was originally designed. Okay, and as luck would have it, this guy Lev didn't bother to change the traps or bombs or any of that stuff. Right, and I don't know why people do this. Okay, see this builder hut over here? That's just asking like for an anchor for me to lure, right? So when I pull the clan castle, that gives anybody. I didn't use it, but it just don't put buildings in the corners, guys. Okay, that's just stupid. So let me get out of here. All right. So what I did on this one, I like to use a 3 golem approach with my Logowiwi. So what I do is coming from the south, I am going to send 3 golems in like this, okay? And then you're going to use a jump spell. Ideally, it's going to get you right here. So it's going to get you across the threshold into that central compartment. Now, the beauty of Logowiwi is that once your troops get into the core, they take out the air defenses, all right? So obviously through the initial movement of all your troops into the core, they're going to take out those 2, right? So then once your defenses are down in the core, they're going to start moving out. So the minute that these 2 air defenses go down, right, you can drop balloons in your point defenses. So let me change this color. You can't hardly see that. All right, so balloons here, 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 and here is going to take out those last defenses, and then all of your I call them, your squishy troops, your wizards and your witches. Nothing is there to attack them, so they can get these last, collectors and your cannon fodder outside of the base, right? Typically, your Go Wix army compositions are really good at getting into the core. Like Go Wipe. Go Wipe's perfect for getting in, getting the 50%, getting the town hall, 2 stars. But getting that 3rd star, you need some back-end cleanup, right? So that's where Logowiwi or Hogowiwi comes in. You use hogs, balloons. I like to use balloons personally. I do better with them, and they're a little more forgiving and predictable as far as the targeting and the AI. Hogs, sometimes hogs can just run amok, and you don't know what's going to happen. So let me clear this off. This is obviously a pretty easy lure. With the clan castle here, what I did was, what does this do? Okay, so over here, right, see this area that's exposed? I just dropped a giant over there to lure out the clan castle. I think I did a giant. And then I tried to get slick and lure them down to the bottom down here. All right, lure them down to the bottom with a minion, and it took forever to pull. You'll see when I start this replay, I used damn near every second of the 3 minutes, and I was almost kind of worried that I wasn't going to get to 100%, but barely got it. So lured up top. Once they were out, I bring them down here. Why do I do that? Because remember I said I was starting my attack from the southern portion here, right? So I always want to lure the clan castle troops into the start of that attack, because you want to be able to use those kill squad troops as part of the rest of your army. You don't want to use them just to kill the clan castle troops and then not have that advantage, you know, for the rest of your attack. Because depending on what you use, I typically try to use 1 to 2 witches, a few wizards. I tried a Valkyrie this time just to see what would happen, because I've seen some other channels where guys are using like 1 Valk and a witch, and it's doing a lot of damage. So I tried that on this particular one. It worked. It was mediocre. It probably works better on like a clan castle full of archers. Like a max Valk will do a lot of damage to them in that case. So I'm going to go ahead and start this and kind of walk you guys through it. Okay, so what I did here at the start was I tried to open up these compartments for my golems, and I kind of duffed it on the first one there. All right, so, and all you got to do is drop a barbarian to distract, right? So you saw I did a barbarian here and a barbarian here to distract these defenses just long enough to drop in a couple of wall breakers over here, right? So what that does is that keeps your golem, because if I drop the golem over here and the walls were still sealed up, there's a possibility they're going to go over here and they're going to target this mortar, and you do not want that, right? So if you have 3 golems clumped up on this one defense, that's just no good. So I learned that trick from a couple of the Town Hall 10s in my clan. They used that. So drop a barb and then drop 2 wall breakers right behind it, and you'll typically get a compartment open. So now these 2 compartments are opened up for my golems to go ahead and roll right in there. So once that's done, giant up here. I'm sorry, I had a balloon on this mortar also. I forgot about that. Just because I wanted to take that mortar out. All right, so once those are down, and I know all the lures out, drop a minion down here at the bottom and lure those troops down. Okay, so once they're down, and I got a handful of them down here, I dropped that Valk. Now, what I failed to do was draw the troops all the way down to the south. As I said, it was taking a really long time, so I was kind of worried. So I dropped that Valk a little prematurely, I think. If I had the troops space to maybe bring 2 or 3 more barbarians, I could have dropped them to get the witch and all the skeletons down there. Like I said, time, you know, I'm already about a minute into the attack here, so I was concerned that I was going to run out of time. So once that Valk was moving, I dropped the golem so that the clan castle troops would target the golem, and my witch, and I think I dropped a couple of wizards here, would go ahead and take them out. So you see you got all 3 golems going in at this point. Sprinkle your couple of wizards behind them, right, to create that funnel, because what you want to do is, I probably don't need to stop it, but you want to create that funnel towards the jump spell. And as you can see, the edge of my jump spell, I kind of duffed it. So that was pretty poor on my part as far as the placement of that. But it got the job done. So as my troops start engaging the heroes, I dropped the heal spell. And I thought they might still jump over to the wall under that threshold, but they didn't. So they kind of went off to the side there. So I dropped that raged, hoping they would get on the edge of it, and that would get them through that wall a little quicker. So you see the crossbows are, looks like they're targeting the golems still, or the golemites, whatever was left, I think. And at this point in the raid, I kind of wasn't sure if I was gonna get the 3-star or not, because you see I'm just over 50% and I've got about a minute left. Just about all my troops are in the core. I did save a couple of wizards, which you see that I dropped over here and here, just to kind of clean up this little bit of trash back here, because what I did not want is I didn't want my troops to have to double back, you know, if they came out like this or something and have to go down here. That was going to waste a lot of time. So what I wanted was the focus was for them to be able to work their way to the top, clearing out those other buildings. So the Barbarian King at this point is kind of doing the tank. I have used his ability. I got nothing but a couple of archers and my balloons left, and I'm just waiting for these air defenses to go down. So right about now, I am watching those air defenses, and you see the one on the right is starting to go. So I'm going to drop my couple of balloons there first, and as soon as that one is down on the left side, I went ahead and dropped the rest of them. So you see there, the giant bomb did get some of my troops, so I'm down to my archer queen. Have I got a witch there? I think I've got an archer queen, a couple of archers, and I got one wizard on the outside. That's it. And so I dropped those 2 archers up at the top to hopefully get a couple of buildings before time runs out. So here I am, 15 seconds, and I've got about 10 buildings left. And of course, as luck would have it, the archer queen is, busting on the wall, so she's of no help at all. And I literally think I finished this raid with 4 or 5 seconds left, but kind of a Noah's Ark, brought the whole the whole gamut there, as you can see my troops and spells composition. But if you can execute that attack in time, it is very good for 3-starring that base. Now the second one is a little bit lower down, and I don't know if this base has a name. I'm gonna guess that it doesn't, but this guy, okay, why do you put your clan castle up here? Like, why even have any troops in there if you're gonna put it out there where it doesn't even really need a lure? I don't know. We had seen one attack on this base already, so I knew what was in the clan castle and I knew where everything was at. So I'm basically going to do the exact same thing, except I'm coming from the top in this case. So I'm going to blow these compartments open, or this one compartment I should say here, again like I did before. And I did do 3 golems. I went here, and then I dropped one through the top. And 2 of them ended up clumping up. I maybe could have just gone with 2. I prefer 3 for the tanking, personally. That's just what works for me. But once they got in, a nicely placed jump spell right here will get you access to both of those air defenses, and then get your troops moving in here. And down here, there's going to be a ton of carnage you'll see once the replay starts. But in this area, I dropped a rage and a heal, which I kind of like to do when I know they're going to engage both heroes, because both heroes obviously are going to engage my troops and my heroes in here. So it's kind of like if you don't lure the clan castle, right? You want to drop a rage and a heal. But a lot of the times people will make the mistake of dropping the rage and the heal directly on top of each other. I try to overlap them. So come over here on the left. If this is my rage spell, right? You don't want to drop your heal spell right on top of that. You just kind of want to overlap it a little bit. So your heal spell, optimally, you would drop above it, and your troops, right, they're going to rage into it. So they're going to move slowly through that heal spell, and they're going to get a better benefit. If you drop it right on top of your rage spell, they're going to move right through it, and they don't get the benefit. So I actually dropped the heal spell first, kind of up and right around the town hall area, and then I dropped the rage a little bit lower, hoping that would get the troops moving and kill those heroes faster. And then as soon as these 2 air defense are down, right, you got just these 2 archer towers that really is the only thing that's threatening to some balloons at that point. So I was able to bring less balloons in and just take those 2 out, and the balloons worked their way up from the bottom as my troops, worked from north to south. So we'll go ahead and start this replay also. All right, so I wanted to get these 2 mortars out of the way first. I forgot to mention that a second ago, because I was concerned that if I dropped a golem up in this area, they would target that, because that's the easiest thing for them to go to. So I sent in too many hogs. I wasn't sure how many I would need. I think I sent 3 or 4 on each, is what I did. But I wanted to get those taken out. I wanted them out of the way to, kind of work on that funnel from north to south. So here we did just a giant on that wizard tower, and then I dropped a couple of witches and wizards to take care of the clan castle troops. And once I was pretty sure that was in hand, I dropped my barbarians and get the wall breakers going. Unfortunately, I dropped my wall breakers a little too late on the left side there. You see they both just got hit. On the right side, the cannon was already distracted by some other troops. So once that was open, dropped my golems. Here comes the third again. Like I said, this probably wasn't the best deployment of the golems. I maybe could have done 2, but again, I prefer to use 3. So once everything's moving in and there's that nice funnel, your heroes can go down and you don't have to worry about them possibly working around the outside of the base. So there we go. I think a nicely placed jump spell this time, unlike my first attack. So what I want to show you right here is, see how there's a couple of wizards here and there's one guy over here. It's beneficial when your troops do this because as your main body moves through the base, right, your cleanup is still going to sweep down around the outsides. Now, they may not make it all the way to the bottom, right? I didn't expect them to. I do drop a wizard down here at the bottom. Oh, there he is. Okay, so I did drop a wizard down here because I figured I could get these buildings. There's actually a giant bomb right here that blows up my wizard, but that was my intent, was to kind of get rid of some of those first. So if you see your troops drop and you see a couple, go out here, hold on to a couple wizards or archers, whatever you got. You see, I've got 2 wizards that I held on to, and that's exactly why I did that, because I knew that I had these troops up here already kind of moving around the outside. So I said, okay, let me kind of see what's going to happen and where I can place those wizards to benefit me the most. Okay, so back to the raid. So all my troops are focused on the center. So there you see I got the heal, and just about all of them are in that heal spell at this point. Now, if I would have raged right over the top of that, then they would have blown right through it. So I dropped the rage a little bit lower to get them, like I said, the max benefit of the heal spell, which probably was a good thing that happened. As you see, those giant bombs there in the core all went off right as all my troops got into it. So now the troops are getting around to those air defenses, and I'm going to drop the balloons. There they go on the right, and then 2 on the left. And there's really not much left at this point. A couple of cannons, right? That wizard tower, and that's like a level 4 or 5 wizard tower. That's not going to do much to anything. I mean, you can see I've still got that max golem who's got almost full health at this point. And I don't know what the health is on one of mine on the left, but 2 out of the 3 golems are still in one piece, and this base is just no match for this army. So I'll go ahead and speed this up, finish it off here. So Logowiwi is, if you execute it right, is very, very strong for 3 stars, guys. If you don't have both heroes, you may not get it. But if you've got both heroes in your war, I definitely recommend some composition of a Logowiwi, Hogowiwi, something to do some backside cleanup once your troops get into the core. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it helped you guys out, maybe helped you learn something, and should improve you for your next war. So drop any comments or questions below, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next video.